Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello, my name is Yogi Apetipaka. Yoga is a way of slowly making your mind and body one, but we haven't got time for that. We've got to keep it interesting. We finally made yoga American with bloodlust, failure, and swinging. It's Darwinian yoga. Each class takes you to the edge, and only the strong survive. You not only improve yourself, but feel doubly better because someone else is failing. Darwinian yoga reveal the inner truths.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Third Shift. It is episode 463, and I am one of your hosts, Mr. Eric, and with me today, as per usual, is Mr. Matt. He was ready. He wanted to get the damn show going, didn't care what Eric said, so let's do this shit. Matt, how was the week, buddy? What's going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing great. It was a great week. It was a great weekend. Took a little family day trip up to Birch Run at Frankenmuth, which is always good. Eating good food, buying good things. Just a wonderful time. We haven't had a family day trip up anywhere in quite a while, so that was very nice. Very cool, relaxing, just chill, just a good day. Very next day, stream some Death Stranding 2, and then, what do I do, listeners? What do I do, Eric? When I end the stream, what do I do all the rest of the day and into the night, and so late that I'm in trouble the next morning for waking up to go to work? Oh, I just played Death Stranding 2 all day. And it's amazing and fun and wonderful and cool. And if everybody was on the stream, you did see the very cool, awesome, amazing thing that happened. Golly, what an amazing thing. Then the other thing I've been playing, the other game I've been playing, it's 100 Line Last Defense Academy. What more can I say about this game? What more could I possibly say? We talked about a bunch on the Watch Playing, which we just did not over the weekend, but pretty close to over the weekend. The only thing new I will say, I was watching I forgot the channel name, dang it. A lady talking about video games. Oh, cool. What are you talking about? Games I've beaten so far this year. And beat your games, people. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me see. Oh, she beat this game. She beat that game. That's neat. She beat 100 Line Last Defense Academy. And I'm not normally this guy, but in my brain it went, wait a minute, did she? I mean, it has been out since April because I looked at my What You Playing book. It's been out since April, so maybe she did do it. And she said, I beat Last Defense Academy. And I went, okay. And I was waiting. I put my hand to my ear like Hulk Hogan, R.I.P. And I was like, where is it? She goes, now what I mean by that is, and I went, here it is. And she went, well, I played through the first 100 days. I played through the storyline as it went. And then I found a branch that explained kind of most of the secrets, kind of. And that's it. And I went, I shook my head and I put my hand over my face and I just went, oh, you don't even know, lady. You don't even know, Eric. You don't even know the listeners who haven't even touched it even. Oh, brother. Whew. But I'm still having fun with it. I don't know how many more hours I have left to go, but I still haven't gotten to a point, as far as I know, to even go back and figure out the mysteries that are in some of those blocked routes where I hit a blocker. So, golly jeepers. Even here's the thing. Even if I get like a true ending, like a perfect, hey, here's the golden route. You did it. I still want to know what all the hell is happening in those other ones. So I'm in a weird spot. I can, if I can find a true ending, that's great. But I still, in my head and in my heart, I won't be done because the things that are happening are so compelling in the other branches. Stop talking before you say anything spoilery. Okay, that's it. That was my week. It was a great week, but I feel like it did absolutely nothing. I also feel like I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting? Oh, the only other thing I've done is I caught up on the G1 because the G1's going on. I don't think I even mentioned that the G1 was going on. I was like 2 weeks behind. Now I'm like 2 days behind. It was very weird because the first night was very strange. Like normally the setup is the first half of the night, it's like tag matches and stuff to set up matches later in the block. And then next half of the night is block competition, one-on-one, big epic fights. But that first night, it was all block competition. So they had to have preliminary matches as block matches. So like the first 3 to 4 matches were like 4 minutes long. and they didn't have any chance to breathe or like have a roller coaster upsy downsy type of a thing. It was just kind of like, oh, he won! Wow, 4 minutes in, he did it. A G1 match has got to be at least 10 minutes, and especially if it's the main event, it's got to go like 20. It's big and it's epic and it's cool. But that first night was kind of like, whoa, we do, hey, and I was like, oh brother, this ain't it. But there've been a lot of really good matches along the way. Takeshita versus Takagi, I blue skied out about it. Great, flippin' phenomenal, amazing. There's been awesome stuff. So I am back in it now. I'm not caught up yet. That's the other thing I've been doing. Other than that, it's just a life. It's going to work and it's just enjoying every second that we're at work. Oh my God, yeah. Hey Eric, what have you been doing this week?
Well, gosh golly, I went on a camping trip, everybody. I left Thursday and I was gone till Monday afternoon, and then we recorded some shows, and then 2 days went by and here we are doing another podcast. At the campsite, it was torrential rains for like 2 days, and then it was super hot for like 2 days. So it was a lot of fun, but the weather just was not having it. It was all over the place for us while we were there. So it kind of like limited what we could do each and every day while we were there. And of course, I'll tell you not the story here about what game I've been playing this week, because you can go check it out on our What You've Been Playing and all that good stuff if you're really, really interested. But the low down dirty of it is due to the different things and whatnot. So I've been playing only one game this week. I have on the show list 2, but I went, no. I decided against playing it the night I talked to Matt about actually going and playing it, and ended up playing Unicorn Overlord because that's the game I've been playing all week. And that's the only game I've been playing. And I just absolutely love it. I've talked more about it to Matt about what I love and what I don't love, so I'm not going to go crazy with it here because you can go check it out on the What You're Playing third shift. But I will say this, I played it some more last night, got more of the storyline unlocked, and I am digging it. It's light, it's just weird and strange and goofy, and all these eclectic, strange characters you're getting along the way. Each and every time, they have this little manageable, tiny story of their own of what they're doing and why they're doing it, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate going into the scene and them kind of just dialoguing out why they're doing what they're doing. Some of them are bad guys, some of them are questionable, some of them can be your teammates if you allow them to live, etc., etc. And a lot of it, the choice is yours. And that's really cool too. Like you could, no, I just don't like what you're doing, kill you. And that's the end of the story for that character, or you don't, and they join you. But it can also go against what you're doing. And sometimes they're like, ha, you're a soft sucker. And they run off, and then you got to fight them again later on down the road. A lot of cool stuff happening in this whole tactical RPG. And I just dig it. I don't know. It's got that good groove that I feel happy with. Just go to the next town, see what they got, see what's going on. Walk around for literally an hour just collecting resources because I'm a psychopath and I feel like I just need more resources to keep making the town stars go up. So that way, I don't know, the towns are better. Some towns are actually make sense because you'll get the, be able to board the boats, go over to the different areas, or they'll have some kind of thing that allows you to get something. Some towns, I don't think they have anything, but I'm just giving them resources because, and I need to stop that. Because I'm not going to 100% this game or anything. There's no way. So I need to stop. I need to use those resources to just do what I need to do to get the things I need to be as efficient as possible. Because you get a billion characters in this game. And I want them all to have decent gear. And I want all their units to actually be functional and viable in battle. That requires a lot. It's a lot of shenanigans. I'm starting to find myself cheating and just optimizing some of the groups and just going, all right, just optimize. I like you guys, but I can't focus on you. Just put what you should probably be having and what you should be doing in there. It's got to be good enough. So some of the groups, unfortunately, they're getting the short end of the stick, but I just don't have time to manage all of them. It's not going to happen.
So every time we talk about this, you get me excited to play it again, even though I sold my collector's edition. Like it's gone. But I'm just like, man, I should buy it on a sale and play it again. And then the conversation always turns into, yeah, the units are just kind of numbers. They're just bodies on the battlefield. And I go, no, that's why that's part of the reason I don't like it. I'll just optimize because there was too much equipment, and to optimize everybody on your own was too damn much. And okay, don't buy this again. Don't get it again. But all the other stuff was so good.
The
and
battles
cool.
are so fun. It's so simple. Just that whole, hey, you're going to probably take about this much damage. They're going to take this much damage. This is because of the setups and the way your units are and who's in the unit, and of course what the gear sets are. I just love it's such a simple concept, but it's so deep as well, and it feels so damn good.
And what I love too is just my Warcraft strategy. Just send the clod, all the units all together. And they ran into somebody. Okay, you're doing pretty good. What about you? Okay, you did really bad. Okay, what about you? Oh, you stomp them. Okay, yep. Here comes the clod again. Just swap them out, swap them out, swap them out, swap them out. Got him, got him, got him.
Yeah, and speaking of that it's the dynamics changes so quick too. So like, say there's like 2 aerial individuals and a couple spellcasters in the back, and one of your groups, literally it's like you're going to take 40 points of damage and hit for 2. And then you send in your Gruff McGruff group who's like, well, you're gonna do 40 points of damage and you're gonna take 0, but that's not a death. It's not even close. It's only 40 points of damage. But you send them in and they end up killing one of the aerials or 2 of the aerials, and all of a sudden the group that had no chance was gonna die just dominates, straight up death. So it's fun to just think not only beyond the unit itself, but what units you can pair together to then do a duo and be like, okay, yeah, I didn't get the right pairing quite for this. But if I get those 2 out of my way, these 2 will come in and crush them. It's no big deal.
Yeah, my mage killers are this unit, and my armor killer is that unit. So send in the armor killer first, then the mage dudes to wrap it up.
And it's a win-win.
You're starting to get me turned back around again. Stop it.
The combat's just fun. It's just great. Story-wise, though, as Matt kind of alluded to, I talked about in the What You Playing Third Shift, you just can't connect because the game kind of just takes that away from you because of the unit building and everything. But I say more over there. You can go check that out. So that's the only damn game I've played this week. Will I break the cycle tonight after the show? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. But I do want to get back to Hunter Line because I do love that game. And I definitely want to get in there and rock it out. And then Matt will, of course, forever just pick on me because I'm never going to do all those branches that he's talking about. It's not going to happen. But that's okay. I'll still have fun. I'll at least be able to be in the conversation a little bit. And that's all she wrote. That's been the week, folks.
I knew when I said that, Eric's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm going to take that to heart and be mad." I don't mean it like that. But like, I don't know. It was just one of those moments of like, I really beat it. I'm like, no, if you have to caveat it, you didn't beat it, and I need to though, and I don't. I don't know. I'm not going to look down on you, but I'm just going to have a more rich experience. That's all. That's all it is. I ate the whole onion, and you ate.
I just nibbled off the ends, the little first layer. I went,
yeah. You picked off some awesome blossoms until you got full, and I was just like, well, I got to eat the rest.
I understand the onion. It's part of me now.
So, speaking of games you want to get into and you want to play, but you don't know if you have time to do everything, I have a game from an entire series that I own 2 collector's editions for and haven't played them at all. But I'm going to tell you about No Sleep for Kaname Date from the Eye of the Somnium files, which launched, I think it was last week on the 25th, developed and published by Spike Chunsoft for PC, Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo Switch 2, which is a very odd situation, especially with this game. But this is also a very odd situation for this game itself, because if you know the Eye of the Somnium files series, there's the first game, and then there's a second game. And then there's this game, which takes place in between the 2 games. So if you've played the second game already, now you're going back in time. It was very strange. I watched a couple reviews of it. I think Noisy Pixel was one of them. And I watched a couple very casual reviews from smaller channels. I'm sorry I didn't grab the names. But this seems kind of like it's a side story in the Eye of the Somnium Files series, obviously because it takes place in between the 2 things. So I think it's a smaller story. It's kind of a more lighthearted story. I mean, there is serious stuff going on because one of the characters gets kidnapped and put into an escape room type of scenario. Like she's abducted by a UFO, and then she has to do these kind of not just escape games, but kind of like death games scenarios, kind of like the Zero Escape series, which these creators are known for. But as Kaname Date, you have to help her out. You're doing the Eye of the Somnium Files series stuff where he delves into people's dreams or subconscious, and then you have I, the character, walking around solving puzzles there. But then also you have this character doing escape room stuff. So if you know the Somnium Files series, it's more of that, but in a slightly different twist. And like I said, I've heard it's more lighthearted. It's a shorter adventure. Everybody's quirks are turned up a little bit, so it's more comedic, it's more lighthearted. But if you do love this series and the puzzling and the figuring things out, I've heard it's really good. I've heard there's a twist too where a lot of times two very obvious solutions will be presented, or like two ways out of an escape room, but sometimes you have to find a third hidden option. Speaking of onions, you have to peel away one layer to find, oh, there was a second door, but sometimes you peel away that second layer, there's another layer, a true exit, a true solution on top of that. If you haven't played the first game, the game does kind of quiz you on the first game. I think in the very first scene, so it's not really a spoiler, all the reviews have shown it, Dante is getting chased by some guys. And he goes, what group were these guys from? And it literally like pops up on the screen and you write it out if you know it. If you don't know it, then it kind of goes, oh, okay, we'll fill in a little bit, or we won't go deep into the story from the first game because we know you didn't play it because you don't know who these people are. So I've heard it's playable if you don't know the first game at all, but you'll miss out on big reveals, kind of the depth of some of the characters, but still a fun little excursion. It is only $40 on Steam right now, so it's a cheaper adventure too. The one weird thing I wanted to mention with the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 versions of No Sleep for Kaname Date is they are two separate versions. Like if you get the Switch version, it doesn't upgrade to the Switch 2 version, but it runs a little better than it would on the Switch. But the Switch 2 version is a game cart only in the box. So if you want a physical version, you have to get the Switch version, but it won't become the Switch 2 version. It's very strange. I've heard it runs pretty well on both systems, but that's weird, and I don't know that I like it. Hopefully it'll come to like PS5 because I have the other ones physically on PlayStation, so maybe I can get that. So I don't know. That's a weird thing, but check that one out. And then, since I don't have too much to say on that, I want to tell you about another small game that I don't have too much to say on, which is Time Flies, which drops today as we're recording this on the 31st, developed by Playables, published by Panic Inc. for PC and PS5 only. Now, Time Flies is a really small and a quick game, but it is a little bit deep. This is a game where you are literally a fly, and you have one lifetime to go and do some stuff that's on your little fly bucket list. This game is all black and white. It looks kind of like everything's made in MS Paint, kind of drawn, but you start off as a fly, and the game kind of asks you, where do you live in the world? So if you live in the US or Sweden or whatever, it takes the median life expectancy for that region. So if like the US, it's like 77.4 years, something like that. And then that turns it into seconds, which is how long your fly has to live. So in 77.4 seconds, you have to go around, solve these little mini puzzles, have these little mini adventures as a fly, and kind of complete your bucket list, and then you move on to the next event, the next stage, I guess I would say. But what's really cool about it is you kind of start off like on the floor as the fly, and the timer's not going. When you fly out and then you see like this room with a house that you're in, that's when the time starts ticking, and the music kind of has this tick-tock kind of feel to it. Once you get into a place where there's a puzzle or something you can do, time stops again, so you can kind of explore that little region. So like if you fly over to a phonograph that's got a record, spinning on the top of it, it cuts to a smaller scene in there, time stops. Now you can kind of figure out what it is you need to do on your bucket list in this scene. And the bucket list is all really vague. So it's kind of a puzzle of what does this mean? How can I figure something out in here? And I've seen this in all the trailers, so this one's not really a spoiler, but if you get to that phonograph with the record spinning, as the fly, you can land on the on-off switch. So you can make it stop spinning, you can make it start spinning. But if you hop on the record and then ride it around a couple times, then the item on your bucket list for go on tour gets crossed off. And then you can fly away and do something else. Another one that got spoiled, I think it was in the Game Informer review, was make someone laugh. So somewhere in this house, in one of these stages somewhere, there's somebody laying in bed with their feet sticking out. So as the fly, you go and you land on their feet, and if you walk up and down, you start tickling them, and they go, woo, their feet kick and they giggle, and so your make someone laugh bucket list item for that stage is crossed off. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's fun and goofy. So it's sort of puzzly, but not really puzzly, but exploration-based, but not really exploration-based, and just kind of like pulling on little strings and figuring out what's going on in here. And this is my kind of game. A small little game. I've heard it's pretty short. I mean, your play sessions are short, but once you've figured out what you need to do, it's easy to get your bucket list done. If you live 20 lives as the fly to do a stage, even that's like only maybe 20 minutes, maybe-ish. So it's a short game, but it's a cheap game. Only $15 on Steam with a launch discount right now. So 2 awesome games you can check out. No Sleep for Kaname Date from the SOMNIUM Files and Time Flies. Go support smaller devs, and especially Time Flies. I think it's like 2 dudes. Support indie devs. Give them your money, give them your time, give them your love. Check out those games.
Indeed, you should. And you should also check out this one. It's Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, developed by the Game Kitchen and published by Dotemu. Or Dotemu, Dotemu, whatever. English.
I hear people say .emu, and I'm like, I'm sure it's not
that's
.emu.
Not .emu.
That's not it.
.emu.
They're French. They're not Australian.
Exactly. So, yes, there you go. You got your publisher, you got your developer, and your release date is today, July 31st. This is a game both me and Matt did. Oh, wow. This one in the Shinobi game coming out. So don't get them confused, because these are 2 separate ninja games. And this one is out now. And I'll tell you what, it's got beautiful 2D pixel art going for it. It's got that fast-paced platform and action happening. You, of course, are going to be Kenji, who is an aspiring, wonderful, cool little ninja doing his thing, protecting his village. And demons come to attack. And when they do, you're there to protect them. And guess what? You're flying through these stages. You're bouncing off the enemies. You're using your awesome, powerful katana to slash these suckers down. And all the enemies are not all of them, bosses, etc. But most of them take one hit, and it feels so good to just be traversing these levels. And it's so fast, and the music's rocking and rolling. Man, I was blown away. I'm watching gameplay. I was checking out like IGN's review and a preview from maybe it was GameSpot. I don't remember anymore. But just watching this in action was fantastic. And it seems pretty simple because, you can grapple on the rooftops of some of the spots. Obviously, you're doing the double jump off walls and the flips, which allow you to bounce off the enemies and then swing and slash with your katana. You got enemies coming from the back end and from the front end and doing all sorts of cool stuff. But then, due to some storyline stuff, you get more abilities and more things that happen and allow you to kind of change how you play a little bit. Now, I don't know how far in it was. They didn't really specify in the reviews, but I'll tell you what, they're going to spoil the hell out of it if you go watch those reviews. So if you want to go into this game just not knowing anything, don't go watch reviews because they're going to tell you all about what happens and what you get. I won't. I'll just tell you're going to get a lot of cool stuff, and it's going to change the way you play in a lot of different ways. Very cool. Like I said, music's wonderful. The artwork, the graphics, everything top tier. If you want that really cool, not retro, but retro pixel art going on, this is going to have it in spades. Everybody that I've seen and watched and touched is loving this game. I think I had like an 86 going for it right now on one of the big Metacritics or whatever the hell they all, grade on. Yes, I'm very excited for it. I really want to pick this one up. I told myself, it's part of my New Year's thing. I can't until I finish 100 line and freaking, I don't know. I think 100 line's it. I haven't bought anything else. The Unicorn was a game I bought a long time ago, Matt. So, technically, if I just go finish 100 line, we're rocking and rolling. So maybe I'll get it after that. We'll see. It depends on when I'm done. But anywho's, this game, don't sleep on it. Go check this one out for sure. It's worth your time, especially if you're an old person like me or Matt, and you got that whole platforming retro thing going for you. It's going to be a good damn time.
And speaking of a good damn time, get yourself over to the Game Pass, because I figured there might be like one game this week, maybe. But look, there's 4. No, there's 5. There's 5 games this week. I listed one as 2 things together. But first off, you got Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers. The latest, hottest new Souls game that everybody's loving and is very complex and has all kinds of systems and things. If you're into that, or if you just want to try it out, it's free on the Game Pass, along with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and 3. The remade ones, not the old ones, but the remade ones are there. Also, you got Grounded 2, which is finally out of early access, and I feel like that launched 2 weeks ago, but now it's here on Game Pass now. Maybe I'm wrong and it was just coming up. And then you got Fragpunk, which is that 5v5 shooter, but you have cards that manipulate like the battlefield and your enemies. It's got a really cool kind of Jet Set Radio type of graphical style, I think, like all very cel-shaded-y and stuff, very colorful. So all kinds of different things. If you want to be hard, if you want to be sweaty, if you want to be small, and if you want to be cel-shaded, Game Pass has got you, boys.
Ooh, yeah, Game Pass rocking it out. And you know what? I'll tell you what, Amazon free games, they're rocking it out. They got one singular game for you, and that's Heroes of Loot. It's a nifty little title. It's like a little shoot 'em up / dungeon crawler game. that changes. The dungeon changes every time you go through, and it gets harder, and of course it's remapped and whatnot. And you get these cool little classes and do all sorts of fun abilities. Go check it out, folks. It's free. What harm can it be when you get it for free? Can't be hard. It's easy.
You can also go over on Epic, which has 2 games for you this week, one of which is Pilgrims. That one I don't know anything about, but the other one is Key Locker, which I went, and I looked at the little screenshot and I went, do I recognize this from something? And I clicked on it, and it's one of those cyberpunk games where like the oppressive government is over top of you and like music is a weapon and we're going to get out and do it. And it looks almost kind of like units on a map, kind of tactics based. I'm not sure if it's transistor style or if it is literally units on the map, but very colorful, very unique and musical. So that's one I've been interested in for a while. I didn't even know it was out. Now I got it for free. Thanks, Epic.
Hot diggity daffodils. Y'all are doing it up right. Thanks for the free games. This freaking, well, I guess we'll wait till next week. I was going to say PlayStation's announced their stuff, but it technically won't hit till the next episode. So, you know what, folks? We'll tell you about it next week when it's actually there for you to play. And with that, well, some more games were announced, Matt. Some things were happening. Shit's going down. Nintendo's got stuff going on. Did you watch it? Did you get to it?
Of course I watched it.
Oh, good. Very good. I was like mildly where I'm like, I don't know if Matt saw it or not. Am I just going to kind of go through everything briefly or not? Well, good. Here it is. Nintendo had its wonderful partner showcase, and we both got to check it out. Man, was there anything exciting, anything you're looking forward to here? What's going on?
I feel like this was overall not a super exciting showcase, but there was one thing that got me really excited. So I'm either going to start with it or I'm going to end with it. I'm just going to start with it because they almost started the whole showcase with it. No, they did. They did, didn't they? It was Once Upon a Katamari.
Mm-hmm. That was first.
The first new Katamari game in like 14 years, if you don't count like an Apple Arcade exclusive one that also came out this year. But this one's, you're hopping through time. You're going through like the Jurassic area, the Edo area, all kinds of different time periods, rolling up stuff and remaking the cosmos and all the stars and all the things because the King of the Cosmos went and did it again. One of the other things that I thought was really cool about this is you can customize all the cousins for the first time. Normally you can collect them all and play as all the cousins you want, but now you can like swap out faces and decorations. You can have the prince with the strawberry pattern all over him. You can change his face. You can do all that other stuff. Not a big deal, but just something fun for longtime Katamari fans. And this proves it. I think this proves it. We've talked about it with many other franchises before, but I specifically remember talking about it here with Katamari Damacy Reroll, and We Love Katamari Reroll. And I said, man, if everybody buys those, maybe they'll make some new ones. Look, they're making some new ones. Now, Eric did point out that they specifically mentioned in this direct, some things are launching on Switch, and some things are launching on Switch 2, and some things are launching on both. And this one only showed Switch. So I'm hoping that it means it'll launch on Switch, and then like a month later, Switch 2 version will come out, or a Switch 2 upgrade will be available, or something. But regardless, it's Katamari. I'm buying it day one. It doesn't matter, because it's Katamari, and I love Katamari. The music also, that's the last thing I'll mention, is returning favorites of songs and artists, new songs from those favorite artists. If you love Katamari, get frickin' hyped, because I am, and it's awesome.
So I got 2 games real quick I'll mention, but they're not games I'm going to play or be super interested in. Well, I will, but in other ways. And that's Chronos, The New Dawn. They got confirmed. They're going to be launching on Switch 2 come September 5th, which that was also them announcing the release date officially, because I don't think they have up until just now. So it's really strange for them to actually use the Nintendo platform to get the release date out there when the game's probably realistically mostly going to be played on, PlayStation 5, etc. So I just wanted to bring it up because that's cool. I'm glad Nintendo's getting some wins with the third parties here. Awesome. Persona 3 Reload, cool to see it. That's going to be coming to Switch 2. So you're going to get all the little updates, upgrades, all this other good stuff. It's going to be nice. So congratulations to those 2. But there wasn't a lot here for me, Matt, to be honest with you. It was neat seeing some of this stuff. But of course, Square pulled it off in the end. They came out and they ended the show with 2 hitters. One of them, not really probably going to be up my alley, but the other one, for sure, I got to check out. All right, and let me tell you, Octopath Traveler 0, I was super stoked for it first. It's like I've played half of the first one. I played half of the second one. I know those games. They're good games. I really enjoy them, and I just never beat them. This one, much the same, except for now it looks like they're bringing some kind of weird town-like building thing, and like hundreds of... It's totally shifting how you're playing Octopath Traveler, and that actually threw me off. I went, oh, while neat and cool, and I'm glad they're sticking to the aesthetics, the 2.5 HD and all that, it's gorgeous looking. I went, okay, well, it's not for me. I'm not building towns. I'm not doing all this weird stuff. I don't want hundreds of players. None of this sounds good to me, but I was still happy to see it. I was happy to see that they deemed the Octopath brand that high that they're going to keep making games for it. So props to you, Square Enix. And then, of course, The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales. That one, I went, okay, I got to play this one. It's got that action RPG thing going for it. So now you're going to be using different kinds of weapons, and you're going to be out there with your cool little fairy named Faye, which is like every name of every fairy in the whole wide world. Very generic, strange, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. But your fairy, she can actually attack too. You can attack. You can choose different weapon styles to suit what you like, your play style. And I thought that was really cool because most of these old school type, action RPGs don't do that. It's just you're a sword and shield, and you learn to get your X strike and your circle strike and this and that. This one actually gives you the different weapon variety, which I found to be nice. The graphic style was fantastic. And the whole story, the whole premise of like going through this portal and doing all this weird crap just piqued my interest. Like it's traveling through these different things and worlds, times, whatever the hell it's all going to be about. I'm down for it. It's a unique, brand new title, so that also got me excited. We'll see where this one goes. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it.
Now, before I comment on those two, I watched the direct afterwards. I came home and watched it real quick. And I know I should never do this, but I went into the YouTube comments because there was a comment right there. The top one was saying we got 2 more games to show and then them both being Square Enix games. What the hell's up with that? And I went, what's that? What? Expand the comment. Look at the replies. Oh, HD 2D, that was old last year. HD 2D garbage. I hate RPGs. This is stupid. Where's Silk Song? I thought it was going to be Silk Song. Okay.
God, I don't even bother.
How can people not appreciate like a beautiful HD 2D art style? It's so cool. It's so good. I am with you sort of on both of these. For Octopath Traveler 0, I'm more excited by building towns and having a big repertoire of characters than doing the Octopath thing because they showed some combat and it seemed in my head, in my Octopath abused head, that it was like, oh, we're level 1 characters and we're doing 343 damage to this guy and I got 2,000 damage. And I wrote, numbers too big, but it looks hot. So it looks nice and awesome, especially if it's got a different vibe with restoring a town and like that big army of characters that were all along the ridge at the end. Yeah, that looked really cool. Adventures of Elliot, I'm basically on the same board with you. I loved when they showed the fairy like helping with the platforming, essentially. Like there was the 2 rows where fire arrows were coming down. You could just send her up and then warp to her.
Teleport to her.
And then you could use her as like a boost to do like Zelda sprint shoes around a collapsing thing. I thought that was pretty cool. But the only thing that worries me is that this feels, and especially with the dialogue with Faye, it almost feels like too kiddie. Like if the story is like, golly gosh, we're gonna go get him. Oh, look, there's a frog man. It'll kind of not be for me, but it looks nice. I love the action RPG style of it. I was like, hey, it's kind of Secret of Mana-y, sort of. Ooh, in this really cool HD 2D. I don't know if I'll play either one, but they're good. I wasn't disappointed with the last 2 games. As far as the rest of the showcase, I think for me, mostly just things that I think are cool to come out, like Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2. That's cool that that's coming to the Switch too. Like it feels weird to have Yakuza games on the Switch, but I'm glad that they are continuing to do that. Obviously, I've played these 2 to death, so I probably won't play them, just like I didn't play Yakuza 0, the one that dropped there. Same kind of a thing. Madden 26, finally back to Nintendo consoles as a former Madden player from all those years ago. I just think that's cool. It just feels right to have Madden everywhere, and I'll never play it, but it feels cool. Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. I love the first one back in the day when it first launched. It was fun. It's not like my favorite game ever, but the only other one that actually did kind of make me rub my matte chin and scratch my matte beard was Hella. That one where you're playing as the mouse familiar of a witch, kind of going through the woods and cabins and things and platforming with your little frog backpack, using it as a grappling hook and swinging around and meeting different animals that are scaled appropriately to your small mouse size. This could be cool. It could be corny. It could be boring. I don't know. But I just like the different vibe of it. You don't normally see something like that. A small mouse going around in the big-sized world. I don't know. I liked it. overall a decent direct, I'd say.
It was a decent direct, but yeah, just a lot of stuff that I already knew about or just wasn't stuff for me. And the last two bits I want to go on this before we're all done, I'm assuming, is Monster Hunter Stories 3. You know, I knew what the dragon was. Like, you know, it was a Rathalos. I went, okay, that's Rathalos. But I tried to trick my brain. I said, because they did this whole thing and hadn't announced anything. So I'm seeing dragons. I'm seeing people in armor. I'm seeing RPG stuff.
Stop it.
Matt,
Stop
you know
it.
it.
Stop.
Matt,
Get out. No,
and I
I'm
said,
going to bleep
Matt,
it. I don't care.
I said,
I don't
just
care.
let
It's
it happen.
bleeped.
Let it be. Let it be what it needs to be. It was not. It was not. I knew it wasn't from the get-go because I didn't recognize the dragon. But I want it so bad that I just like, no, but what if? What if? What if?
I didn't write it down, but I will say about that game, I haven't played the other Monster Hunter Stories games, but I was watching it and I was like, oh, like it's got a story. Like there's a reason that you're doing this and you're flying on a dragon. You're not just killing every monster you see. Huh. Maybe I'll check this out. Maybe it'll be kind of cool because obviously there will be a reason to go fight the big thing because it's stolen the princess or whatever it is. I don't know. My brain was like, maybe I'll like this. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it looked decent enough. I've never played those either. Only the main lines. But the second one, Matt, it made me think of us and it made me think of Steve chilling by the fire.
Yes.
Hey, it's a fire simulator. And the guys, gals, people, hey, you got to make a fire and you got to like stoke the fire and you can make it rain. So it's hard to make a fire because you got to put sticks that are wet next to the fire to dry them out before you use it. And I went, Steve, it's for you. Wow. They're making all these games just for you. I feel so good for you.
I wonder if there's like a DLC where you can fill a monster can just full of pure gasoline and like pour it on and it flares up and you're like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. Oh geez. It's drunken campfire with your idiot friends.
Well, that's what it is though, man, because then I thought of us and I went, wow, this is how we could do it. Because there's fireworks. You can have fireworks while you're having a fire and your beautiful little heads and you put them in chairs. And I said, I can come to James's fires now. Look at that. I will join. You just put my little screen on the chair and I'll just be there with you. And I'll keep my own fire tended while I talk and laugh and have a joyous occasion with all of you via Chilling by the Fire, a magical experience that's out now for you to just grab up. So you know what, Steve, you'll be there. Maybe this time I'll be there, buddy.
Nice. See, I think me and James at the fire, you could probably get away with it. I don't think if Shay's at the fire and there's cams on, I don't know, you might be seeing things you don't want to be seeing. I don't know. He's got to keep it under control, you know.
Yeah, he'd probably lose the will to keep himself in check after a few beers. Go bad for me.
So that was a fun direct, and I'm gonna say no. We are gonna talk about it. I've been debating. I don't know. It's gonna sound rambly and weird because I'm gonna try and couch it in not me sounding like an absolute pervert. But the other big news of the week, it's a news podcast. We got to talk about what's been happening. Is this Australian group called Collective Shout has made Steam, it's made itch.io delist or de-index and take away a bunch of not safe for work games and content that's been on their platforms. I feel like you could talk about this from a bunch of different angles and different ways. But I feel like one of the best ones that I saw was, and I'm pulling up the website right now, is there was a game developer article all about this after it happened because itch.io de-indexed all their stuff, which I thought meant delisted, but apparently they just mean just take it out of any search results. So you have to have like a direct link to find this stuff again. Then they came back with a whole list of things that are banned from anything that's on their site ever again. And if you upload something with any of these things in your game, not even just the focus of the game, not even the gameplay mechanics, if it references any of these things, your game's delisted, you're like banned from itch forever, and any of your money that they owe you as a payout, they're just going to keep it. So there's like one strike and you're out forever with no appeals, no recourse or whatever. And as that was posted up, another group called the International Game Developers Association, again on a game developer article, had this really well thought out and level-headed approach and response to that, saying that, you know, if you have no appeal process, you have anything like this, it all combines to like this weird creative suppression of artists and game developers and everything. You can't just take all that away and then say that out of the blue, one strike and you're out. I'm not even advocating for all the extreme and very strange things that have been delisted and actually taken down. But I use this example when I talk to Eric about it. If you put up a Game of Thrones game on itch.io now, you can't have Jaime and Cersei Lannister in there at all. Not even a reference to them. You can't see them. You can't talk about them at all. But all that stuff, all these things, which are not to my taste, most of these things are not. But they've been in books forever. They've been in movies forever. They've been in TV shows forever. Not just like Game of Thrones, but like Law and Order SVU. Isn't that all about all this horrible stuff that's on the TV? And now these small groups are pressuring credit card payment processors to pressure these storefronts to get rid of anything that has any of these things in it. And I feel like it's so weird and I guess the tack that I always think about is it's such a slippery slope. Like if I, as an adult, the human male with disposable money, if I'm not allowed to buy this because you say I can't, what happens next month? What happens next year when this other thing is now verboten? Well, nobody should be seeing that. Now you can't buy that. Now you can't buy this. I think that's kind of what the IGDA was talking about with, if it's all this extreme stuff now, maybe we all understand that, but what's the next step down from that? Because things don't just stop. There's not just a hard, we ban that and then that's all we needed to do. No, everybody scratches their little chins and goes, yeah, but I think we should ban this next too. And then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. And especially with this coming from Australia, who is still the most weirdly censored video game continent. It's so weird. All of this is just strange, and I know I'm getting painted with the creepy pervert brush for even talking about it or objecting to it in any way. But again, like the most extreme stuff, I'm not a fan of that. But if you say you can't even reference mature themes in your games at all, what are we doing here? You know, like what are we doing?
I agree. There's a lot to be said for this discussion. And one thing I'll say is, like you said, it's in books, it's in movies, always has been. These different taboo things we don't want to talk about, or things we think are undesirable or unmentionables. They've been in artistry for forever. And sometimes, yeah, it's lewd and crude. Sometimes, though, it's a means to a story. It's a means to an end. And it should be the same way with video games. I think you got people going, oh, it's still for kids. That's been over for so damn long. Video games do so much more than just entertain you on a very basic level, like in the Nintendo days. All right? It's moved on from that. And the stories have too. There's so many freaking games that are just booked towards telling an adult a tale. And you say, we must protect the children. No, we don't do anything. You're the parent. The parent must protect the child. The government should not be protecting the child. The state should not be protecting the child. The parent protects the child. And that's where this starts to swing off for me into a big government control thing and everything else. And I'll start ranting and raving like a psychopath. So I'll stop there and just say, I don't think they need their hands in this stuff, period. Credit card companies are all, it goes on and on. And then I'll just say also, it's just as you said, where does it stop? The cultural climate we have now would love to control everything. All right? Everything. You know, can't say this because it's mean about this. You can't do that because it upsets this person. You can't say that because it upsets this group, that group, this group, that group. There's a million groups and everybody hates each other on different levels. So if we start to just censor stuff, it doesn't stop. Next thing you know, we're going to have 10 approved books for reading, 10 approved games for playing, 1 approved movie to watch. And it's got all the same brain think going on, and we're all just a bunch of marionettes dancing on the strings of whatever idiot controls us all. So no. Yeah, I don't partake either, man. I don't even look to exist. It doesn't. None of that matters to me because I'm not over there. But controlling it and then censoring it, that's a bad idea all around, period.
The last thing I'll say on it is you mentioned these weird things have been part of art for forever. And sometimes it's extreme and sometimes it's not. But it kind of sparked in my brain, like, these things exist in the world too. Bad things happen. Like, this happens in life. And if you tell a really good story about this bad thing that happened to a person, but they grew from it and they recovered and blah, 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 that can help people. But if you say we can't have that in our media at all, what do those people have to look for? They're just told the narrative of whoever's controlling them. They don't see anything that could help them, because I'm explaining it really poorly because I don't really want to say the words because it'll sound bad, I guess. But I think you get what I'm saying. If you can't say or even reference it, like Ichio says, you can't even imply or reference some of these things. How can you have a story that would speak to somebody who's been through something like that? Anyway, we're going to break from that.
So, of course, breaking away from that because it starts to get too in-depth, and me and Matt don't like to go into all that stuff too much. So we're going to leave it there. You form your own opinions and whatnot. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Obviously, keep it, normal. Don't go crazy. I don't need to hear about all your psychotic stuff or anything, but I'd love to hear from you in general about it. That'd be great. With that said, I will end the normal news line with a little bit that happened today that got me super excited. I wish Matt was super excited about this. It's Battlefield 6 Multiplayer's Reveal. That just took place, and then, of course, all day since then, streamers have been able to stream it, and you watch it, and then it gives you access to the open beta, which is next weekend. If you watch the streamers play for a certain amount of time, then you'll be able to play next weekend in the open beta. If you don't, the following weekend, everyone will have access to the open beta. So just be aware that this game is right around the corner. I think it comes full release. I didn't even put it up. I think it's October 10th or something like that. We get Battlefield 6 in our hands, and it's a return to form. They straight out came and said, we've looked at you, and we've watched you, we've listened to you over the years, and we hear you. You want what we got you in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. And that was the peak. That's the pinnacle. That was where the most fun was had with Battlefield. And they said, we took everything from those games and from what you said, and we're going back to it. So they've brought back the classic classes, Recon, Engineer, Assault, and Support. So the 4 are back, and they've got not only their classic abilities, but they've also added another ability to each one of these classes, and they brought about the Levolution again, which that's what Battlefield's known for. Buildings getting blown up, vehicles getting blown out of the sky, just nothing but action-packed insanity every moment of the game that you're playing. I was just jazzed, man. I was over here, I was watching, the whole thing and just going, I can't wait. I'm sold. I'm back in some Battlefield action. This is going to be so much fun being the engineer and just blowing up them damn tanks and then running off like a little rat, hiding. And then, of course, he's standing by a friendly tank and just like an idiot, just buzzing him, just healing him for 5 minutes straight while he's going around tanking stuff. And I'm feeling like I'm a badass, even though all I'm doing is holding a torch to this tank going, but it feels good because you're helping accomplish the mission, the task at hand. So, yes, I watched it and it was fantastic and it got me pumped up. And I could go on and on. There was they're bringing back, of course, all the classic Battlefield, command and all that other good stuff. They talked about getting Firestorm from Battlefield 3 is going to be back in as one of the maps. They got 9 maps coming, and of course they talked about how different maps are going to be obviously different sizes for the different modes that they've got coming for you. And I was so excited to see that Brooklyn is going to be the mid-range one. So you're going to be here in America fighting on these grounds. And that's the general all-around map. Those are usually one of my favorite ones. So very excited about that. Like I said, I can go on and on, but just go watch the damn thing. It was really cool. I'm very excited. I hope Battlefield can bring it back again. We'll see, though. I shouldn't get too excited because I haven't played a good Battlefield that I've enjoyed for many, 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 many years. But maybe this is going to be the one, Matt.
Now, this is the thing I didn't have time for. I did have it booted up. I found a bunch of little clips that they snipped out of their showcase. So that's what was playing while you were talking, and you saw me turn to the side with my mouth hanging open as I'm watching buildings just get shredded and exploded and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, look, there's the bad company blowing up the buildings, blowing holes in things, sledgehammering down a door, and it just explodes into nothing. I'm going to have to go back and watch the full thing. I know I messed with you at work when we were talking about it and went, oh, Battlefield, I'm going to fall asleep. But man, it looks really cool. It looks really awesome. Hopefully it's great and cool. I'm interested.
Oh, good. Oh, me and Matt.
We're both
Friday
you're going to be on one side of the tank, I'll be on the other side. Zzz.
Oh, you're going to be an engineer? That's all right. I'll go support if you want to be an engineer. That's fine.
Oh, no, I'll be the medic.
Stabbing needles
I'll walk
in people
behind you just shooting out med packs at you or whatever it is.
Yep, exactly. Dragging me out of battle, popping in that the adrenaline, getting me back on track.
There we go.
It's gonna be good times. Good times.
Let's be following the tank on the other side of the street as it destroys here. I'll just be waiting for you to drop run out, grab it. Psh, there we go.
They got him. Get back up, Eric. Keep that tank alive. Yep, thanks, buddy. Racking up them points. Oh, God, man. I'm telling you, gotta go back.
God. Oh, you're making me have flashbacks to 1943 and all the good times I had. Okay, it's a maybe. We'll put it on the maybe pile, especially with the open beta. We can both get in there. I assume we don't have any problems. We can do that. Yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be able to play the open beta and then you can get a taste and see if it's up your alley or not.
So, yeah, there we go. We got some light news, some heavy news, some exploding buildings kind of a news. And what would the show be without Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner? If you remember, last week's question was, the setting of which game is Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp, or Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp is the setting of which game? That game was Psychonauts. Now, this is a long question. Hopefully it makes sense. We'll see. This week's question is, using a pun referring to both the game's long-awaited status and the use of time travel in its plot, what is the full title of Crash Bandicoot 4?
Final answer.
I'm going to give you a half point because it's not. It's.
Oh, gotcha.
You get a half. Yeah, I'll give you a full point. Why not? It's been so long since you got a point. I got to give a man a point.
It's so close anyway. It's there. You know what I'm saying, for God's sakes.
So if you know the answer to that question, or if you have some thoughts on Battlefield, on Nintendo, on the news we talked about, on the free games, on the 2 releases that I gave you, on the 1 release that Eric gave you, if you have thoughts about me eating at Frankenmuth or Eric going camping, man, send that to us via the email thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine @thirdShiftME. Find us on Facebook under Third Shift. Hit the Discord, hit the Patreon. If I'm streaming, by God, hit up a stream. I'll be carrying stuff from one outpost to the next. I'll be delivering things, and then a weird cutscene will play, and I'll go, what the hell is even happening to this game? Whoa, wow. Do that.
Indeed, you should do that, and you should head over to Patreon. Little tip jar, like what we're doing, like what you're hearing. Boop, boop, boop. Throw a few bucks in, keeps the lights on, pays the Podbean bills, etc., etc. We appreciate the holy hell out of it. You all are the best, and you keep us rocking and rolling, and we thank you so much for it. But you can also support in other ways, too. You can go give us 5-star ratings on the Apple Podcast, 5-star ratings on Spotify. You can go over to said Twitch and throw your Amazon free Prime membership, $5 that way. Boop, boop, boop. Now we're rocking and rolling over there. Or you can go to the Discord, join on in, have some conversations, throw some mailbag stuff our way. All sorts of ways to have a good time with us. Any of them are very much appreciated, and we have a lot of fun with all of you. So thank you so very much.
And we do have a mailbag question, and it's an interesting one that I have some thoughts on, but we'll have to get to that next time, which may be the very next time you listen to the podcast, on or around August the 7th, on iTunes and Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, hey, if you like what we're doing, like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, a review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any of those good services, because it does help us out, and we really do appreciate it.
Indeed we do. We appreciate that. We appreciate some 5-star ratings. Folks, I didn't see them 5 stars shining when I was at that campground. I thought it was a for sure nail-in thing. I thought it was. But oh no, alas. Only rain and clouds and sadness and a deluge of water was in the works for me. So come on, brighten my day and brighten your own day by getting in there and doing it this week. We'll see you next week, folks. We'll see what you do for us.
And with that, there's nothing else to say but...
Don't
forget to say...
Shut up and sit down.